Welcome to Wild Pursuits with Cross Trail Outfitters, where we guide the next generation to Christ through the outdoors. Join us around the campfire as we share stories of faith, courage, and adventure. What we want to share with you guys is something special has happened here this last 10 months with Cross Trail Outfitters. Many of y'all here know Danny Little with Redneck Blinds. Redneck Blinds is a great sponsor of us with Cross Trail Outfitters and do phenomenal things for us. But what's exciting about what happened literally right before Christmas of this last year, many of y'all know the tragedy of Hurricane Helene hit here and did some horrific things. Hundreds and hundreds of people lost their lives. Jennifer and I have been here following up with some things, but see, I'm getting ahead of myself already. But back in December, Redneck Blinds contacted us and said, hey, our hearts are pouring out to the folks here. What can we do to help? And Danny had this idea of building redneck cabins, which many of y'all listening here know about Danny's redneck cabins with Redneck Blinds. He provided 76 of these and got these out in like less than a week prior to Christmas. Now, I didn't think it would be done that fast at all. I thought we wouldn't get them out until the end of probably January. But Danny produced these in just about a week. And I contacted DJ to say, hey, would you be willing to head this up? And what's cool about DJ is DJ, when I called you, there was, in my mind, I didn't hear any hesitation in your voice. You were telling me the stories of what's happened here and just how the community and people were coming from everywhere to help in such a traumatic, horrible time in many people's lives. And you just were already getting involved in doing things, and Cross Trail Outfitters was already getting involved. But this was another way where we could just coordinate and get these things to people, because people in the mountains, you correct me if I'm wrong, but at different times, it's cold. They're staying in campers in many cases because they've lost their homes. They're staying in tents and cars. And it's Christmas time, but it's winter up in the mountains. You can all know if you're in the mountains, it's wintertime, it's cold, right? So lots of horrific stories were coming back. And this is where Danny and Redneck Blind said, hey, it's kind of a quick fix, but we can get these to you. And they're insulated. You can put a heater in there, and somebody can at least have a warm place to put their head at night to get warm. And during the day, they can go through what they needed to go through. So I contacted DJ and said, hey, this is what we're wanting to do. Would you help us and get your team? What was your thoughts, DJ, when I called you and said, hey, I potentially have 76 redneck cabins coming? Oh, by the way, I know it's Christmas in a few days, and you've got your beautiful family, and you got all the things going on, and you know everything that's happening, and it's kind of chaos, right, at that time, not just in your personal life, but just what's going on with this.
Well,
community.
First it started, it was going to be 50.
Oh, I forgot about that.
And yeah,
growing. That wasn't me. That was Danny. Danny, if you're listening to here, it's all your fault. But that's his heart, though. That's just how he is.
It was just really a no-brainer. It was, felt it was, it wasn't anything but from the Lord, and we're going to do it. We'll figure it out. And thankfully, we have amazing friends, amazing contacts, and amazing support that, let's do it. We'll figure it out. Get them coming, and they came quick.
I think that was the most beautiful thing that I've learned about you and your family was when I called and I said that, you literally said that, I don't know how, but we'll figure it out. Just get them here.
Yep.
And you'll figure it out.
Yep.
And for me, in our position and where we were at, so far away and different things in Missouri, we felt helpless.
Yeah.
And knew that we probably couldn't get there. We didn't even know when they were going to get shipped at that time. And again, thinking it was only 50. See, I forgot about that. And didn't think, okay, maybe into January, February. Yeah, we'll make that work. We got time. But Danny and his heart and his team and the employees there, they all just went to it and got these things done. And you just said, we'll figure it out. And
so it's crazy. I don't know if I've ever told you this really, Kirk, but Savannah and I were not here when the hurricane hit. We were on a cruise.
Really?
So the Friday,
the cruise family,
the Wednesday before, when we knew Helene was coming to Orlando, we had a cruise that Friday. So Savannah and I went down to Orlando, and I remember taking a picture of my car with a piece of stick on it, saying, we survived Helene. We will rebuild. Joking with my wife, not realizing what was happening here.
At that time, you didn't even know the full extent of it.
No. Right. So they didn't know until later in the morning, afternoon, when I was talking to Kelly. They went walking our town and like, oh my gosh, this spot's flooded and this tree's down and we're over on this road now, and explaining to me what was going on.
Wow.
And so we're getting ready to head on a cruise, and then it was hard to communicate because it seemed like every other day the phone lines were out. There was word of getting the power or the phone lines cut. They restored them so we could have communication again. And actually, as much as people aren't fans of social media, some days that was the best way to communicate, was through Facebook and private messaging. And
that's what you kept telling me. You were just putting messages out, and people were just showing up.
But even to communicate with my wife in the very beginning.
Oh wow. Okay.
And then so a lot of people ask what happened to us. Personally, our family, obviously we're fine. The deli did lose power. We lost power here for 11 days. So we lost all the food that was in the back. Our house, the fence was tore up, some of our siding gone, nothing major. And I have another business that, of course, we couldn't work when we had no power. But other than that, we were fine. And so down in Florida, Savannah and I had hurt my back. I was laid up, and actually I was laid up for quite a while. And in the beginning, these three, Kelly, Abigail, and Brianna, were all in helping churches. It was just, they can share a whole lot better than they can. I'm just second hand on it, but handing out water and handing out clothes and just the lines and all that. And it was crazy because I kind of almost felt guilty because I couldn't do much. I couldn't lift. I couldn't do a whole lot. But then I started getting better, and then the Redneck blind came, and it was like, well, I can do it. I can figure it out, and we'll do it. It was a crazy time for sure. I'll start, unless you want other questions, I'll start telling about it, how it came about.
I think it's a great way to start. Because
unless you guys want to add to helping out in the beginning?
I will, I do want to hear from each one of your all's kind of your experience. And some people are saying, like, why are we here? And we're going to get to that here in a minute. But the last several days, DJ's coordinated, giving us some names and addresses of people that receive some of these Redneck blinds. And we've been traveling the last several days looking at these things and doing a follow-up with people, seeing if they're still using them, asking them how it changed their life, if it did help them. And the stories are phenomenal that we're hearing. This went to some very needy people at a very traumatic time in their life. And we are just... Here we are 10 months, and we can see the devastation still.
Yeah.
So I would love to kind of hear, I know people would like to hear some of the stories, but also some of the stories of just how God used such a horrific thing, and how it changed your all's life, I'm sure, and how it changed others' life. And then we'll kind of get into kind of what we've experienced the last couple of days, too.
So I'll talk about the blinds when they started coming. Again, it was 50, then it was going to be 80, and then the numbers, how they produce them, it was 78, 76. Had a good friend of mine that has a cabinet shop that he was just getting a new building, but it was empty. So I called him up, and we put like 20, 30 of them at his place, 20, 30 of them at my place. And they came quicker than we expected. Then getting them off, I think every truck held 8.
Yeah, I would say 8.
I think it was 8 of them. So we got these tractor trailers coming, 8 of them at a time. Brianna was a workhorse to help me get them off the truck. We had to.
All right, now hold on. I heard this story. That like you were getting ready to like help. No, a guy was getting ready to pull it out. He was like couldn't budget.
Yeah.
Right. He's like, you can't budget, and you're like, I got it. and you just go in and you're just like, yeah. Yeah, I want to. Yeah, tell that, because we're gonna come back to the Dammit. I got to hear that story, because I think when we could do a whole podcast on these kids, of this family, because they are big dancers and they're, I would call bougie girls, but they're not bougie girls. They do their nails, but then they also put their hands in guts and go kill things and catch things and eat things and do all this stuff, which I think is so cool, because that's kind of how my kids were. And I think that's phenomenal. So that's why I think this story, it's a funny time during a tragic time that I think is funny. So you got to kind of tell them about this dude that you outworked.
The one I'm unloading, or the one where we're putting it in like to
Oh,
the
which
woods?
one? There's several. Oh, there's a bunch of
The guy
them.
wanted to help you unload.
Okay. So Dad's like, we got to go unload these houses or what blinds, and I was like, okay. And then we get there. This guy's trying to do it by himself. I'm trying to help a little bit, and he was struggling. I was like, I can help, and he's like, no. I'm like, seriously, I'll help you. And he's like banging it on this one side. I was like, here, let me get up there. He would not, and I was like, and then he went into the back to try and push it, and I got up in the front, and I was like back against walking. I was like, this is easy.
And you were able
I
to
was like,
move it, aren't you?
and then
That's
he's like,
hilarious.
and then he saw me at the end. He goes, "You were helping?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm sorry." And
That's
he
hilarious.
would not. And then I tried helping with the ratchet straps, and he's like, "No, girls don't do this." I was like, "This girl
This
does."
girl does.
I was like, "Let me help you. I promise it will make it easier." And he just like did not want help, and I was like, "Okay." And then he walked around, and I would help, and it just got done faster.
That poor guy is like, he somehow he's going to see this podcast. His buddies are going like, that was you, wasn't it? That was you. That girl out moved and lifted you. Well, I think
Tell him about delivering one.
Oh my goodness.
All right, tell us about this.
So this one, it was down in the woods. Like, you had to go down this steep hill. Abigail was with us. We had, 4 guys with us? And we were just sliding them on 2x4s. And this one was so rough. And, I'm running into, back against, walking down the hill. And
You're
they're,
going in the woods with it.
down, you had to go down the hill. The hill was the easiest part. Then you had it on flat grounds, had to go around big trees. And it was a tough one. And then they're like, no, girls can't help. And I was like, no, we can do it. I promise you, Dad makes us do this on our own. Without you, we're doing it. And so we're just we're walking, and they're like, no, you don't got it. And I lifted up, they're like, oh, you do. I was like, I do got it. And then we're just lifting it. And then one guy's like, yeah, I don't even need to try. They got it. And it was just, that one was that was the roughest one, going down the hill and walking it. And they're like, these girls are strong. I'm like, well, if you weren't here, we would do it by ourselves. So I was like,
You don't have a choice.
I was like,
do you?
either way, I mean, Dad, when he tells us we're going somewhere, we're helping. I'm not the one to just sit and be like, oh, good job, like Mom.
Oh, man.
one I'm talking about.
Uh-oh.
I was helping too.
Uh-oh.
But yeah, they just don't think and I was like, no, we'll get it. Either way, like you said, we don't know how, but we'll do it.
Well, that's I think that's part in your raising of being independent, but also again, you're there to help, and you're not there just to observe or watch or whatever. You're there to be a part of that. And I think with Jennifer and I driving around the last several days, some of these, they were in some places. I'm like, I don't know how they got them in there without picking them up, carrying them, pushing them. I mean, jockeying them around,
Yeah.
getting them in weird positions and weird places, because, and we're seeing the aftermath of the fact that things are cleaned up.
Yeah.
So they're in places where before it was a mess. I don't know how they did that, but that's an example of how you were able to do that. So, well, that's a funny story. I had to say that because when he was talking about that, it just came to mind, because I think I even remember. Did you send me a little video of that or something?
I couldn't find the video, but I got pictures of her
I
standing
think it was
there.
pictures you had sent me.
So visually, the cabins are 6x7, and they just don't. They twist in the back of the trucks, and it was getting twisted every time I was pulling it out, and he couldn't untwist it, and
So he needed some help.
he hid, and Brianna jumped up there and untwisted it for us. But yeah, so these cabins came. So now I've got 50-something cabins. I had a friend up in Tennessee. He took 30 of them up there from another CTO outfitter, Mac McDowell, and he received some, I received some, and then it was the challenge of getting these out. And I wanted to get them out as quick as possible because cold fronts were coming. But the other thing is I was heading out of town, out of the country. Yeah. And I did not want to leave these for my wife to do. Abigail and I were heading out to Africa. So then it was, okay, I tell people I couldn't have scripted it better how it all came undone. Every day in the morning, I did not know how many cabins were going out that day. It wasn't until people just showed up to my shop. I would put on Facebook. I'd go live on Facebook. Again, a social media plug.
You were doing that every day.
A social media plug that how good we can make it for us and for the kingdom. I'd have families show up that I didn't even know. They just saw my live feed and would show up. And I'm going to share one story. This one, he looked young. He was a kid. And I had no idea who he was, and nobody did. We're like, who's he here with? And didn't know. And then all of a sudden, out of the car, the mom comes, and the sister comes, and 2 other people come out. And I believe they're from Indiana. She was a doctor. She just happened to see my video, and on the videos, I was saying I have a trailer, I can provide a truck, I just need people. So they showed up with a little SUV. And she said, my vehicle can tow 5,500 pounds. I said, great, these things weigh 500, and I've got a trailer right there. So she was here kind of early to help with any medicines that might
medical type stuff.
They were all pre-med, and they were renting an Airbnb for a month, and it was really cool to talk with them. But I had this one cabin out in left field, let's say. And just, it was hard because I was trying to coordinate people to go and not have to run up and all down the mountains. And this was perfect for them. They went and delivered it and brought my trailer back, thankfully. And
you said it was somebody you'd never even met before.
Yeah, I'd never met them.
That morning, or
just
that
morning. But that happened every day when I put a Facebook post out. I got a shout out to Robbie Amos, who it was huge. He's still working up in Pensacola area, but he was in Swannanoa from day one, coordinating stuff and logistics, and he was helping me get people that needed cabins, and shared a story about, again, I'm going to plug Park Ford here locally. They showed up to my shop with 3 trailers, 3 trucks, and 6 of their employees one day, and they put out I think it was 7 cabins in one day up in the Hampton area. And it was snowing, but they came ready to go. Another friend of mine that owns an asphalt company, they came, and he came 2 days. Again, these guys are, workers that came and they paid their employees to help get these out.
Yeah. And there's still guys doing that, we found out. They're paying their employees to still go do cleanup work.
Yep.
And they're paying them even and not getting work done at work.
Yep. I look at it. I had
people's hearts.
I had the easy job. I ain't gonna lie. I just coordinated it, and I almost feel like I didn't do a whole lot, and I don't want any credit for it. It's the people that made me look good. It's the people behind the scenes.
It made you look good from our perspective, because I'm like, DJ's getting this done. Because I was reporting back to Danny and other guys and just saying, and he's like, are they getting out? I'm like, yeah. And I'd text him and say, hey, you got another 20 on the way. And you're like, okay.
Yeah.
And you did it.
Everybody
sounds like because everybody rallied around you.
Kelly's got a good story how we would get the get the blinds down out and maneuvered through the fields, and I'll let Kelly share.
Uh-oh. She's like now going to say,
thanks,
I'm
DJ.
going to totally kill you.
Well, there was several that we had to get into the woods, and we were at a top of a hill, and it was flat, but we had to go all the way down there, and they're like, that's where we got to get it, and we're looking, and it's full trees. I'm like, well, this looks like the only path that we can make this building fit down. And once we got it off the trailer, we were taking the 2x4s that they were resting on,
Okay.
or did we bring those?
We brought them.
We brought 2x4s,
Okay.
but we would lay it down on one side, and then on the other, we'd get the house pushed down, and then we'd get people to grab it from behind, and then run around
Seriously.
and kept putting the 2x4s all the way down. And I think we had 3 to work with, 2x4s. So we were constantly, somebody was always running. And it wasn't a straight line down the hill. No, we had to go around this big tree, and oops, there's a big tree right there. And some of it just miraculously just fit between 2 trees.
Wow.
And we got it all the way down. And there was probably 10 of us, I feel like. And we, pushing it and shoving it, and everyone's like holding still. I'm like, wait, I got the 2x4. And we'd run down and put it in front.
I remember
and
seeing pictures of a big group of people, and I know you all were in it, so it must have been that day when it was happening.
It was actually kind of comical too, just listening to everybody like, oh, watch out for that tree, oh, watch out for that branch, and were you girls there too? I think we were all there, and we were all just grabbing the 2x4s and running around and
That's awesome.
and trying to get that down to them, and they were very appreciative too. But it was funny too. At one point, we're like, well, where did the people go that this is for? We couldn't find them. Like, I think this is where they want it.
So you really didn't know where you're supposed to go, really? Because if I understand, because we weren't there, obviously, so like was there just trees down from the storm, or were there just? Are you just?
No,
going,
it was just.
You were just because it's in the woods and where they wanted it placed.
Yeah,
where
they
it needed to be placed.
They already kind of had a clearing there. It looks like
Okay.
they had.
Is that the one behind the church?
But they, yes,
Okay.
it was behind the church. But they had, they really didn't have anything there. I think they might have had a tent, but
Okay.
you could even see their tent had a huge hole in it, and
Wow.
just
So
they
the-
were definitely
the
in the
need.
elements.
The need was great.
Yes,
There,
yes.
they needed that.
Yep,
Did
absolutely.
you just take one or a couple there? Do you remember?
That one was just one.
That was just
But
one.
we would put 2. That was one, but we put 2 or 3 on the trailer, so that was one stop. And we, if I remember right, that day we had a family that wanted to help, but then they had to leave early, so they drove separate. I mean, it's just story after story of how these all came. And I'll say too, the other cool thing is when people found out we had these cabins, I was getting them full, and again, I say but we were getting them full with everyone we put out had a buddy heater, blankets, food.
People were supplying almost like care packages.
Yes, I mean we stacked the cabins up with everything, little propane tanks, and
So were people they were just hearing this on social media?
I don't say it's a joke, but I always said if I asked for red crayons, the next day I would have a semi full of red crayons.
That's how it was.
Everybody across the U.S., I mean, in my eyes, just helped our area, and a testament to so many people. I mean, I could list names and names and names that helped with this whole, from Danny willing to donate 70-something redneck blinds, just that story, but that happened every day all across.
Other things other than a redneck cabin.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it was cool just to be able to be a part of it. And there was people that couldn't do, they felt like they couldn't do a whole lot, but this helped. I gotta say, just putting out the cabins, I would think about 100 people probably helped us with physically moving them. That's not counting my buddy that stored them at his shop and he's moving them around, because we're in his way now. But I would say about 100 people touched them. One of our outfitters, Jason Mitchell, I was sharing with you.
Yeah.
So where my shop is, I'm still about 40 plus minutes away from like where we put most of these cabins. Well, my buddy's shop, he's 20 minutes farther away down the hill towards South Carolina. Jason Mitchell lives over in Gastonia. Well, he wanted to help, and he didn't know how to help. I said, I've got the perfect job. I need to get the cabins that are at my buddy's place up to my shop, so I didn't have to have another 40 minutes of driving.
Yeah.
And Jason's like, that's fine. I said, it's not glamorous. Like, you're not going to be going to people's houses, but you're helping. He's like, I don't care. Whatever you need. So him and a couple of his guys came. They had 2 trucks, trailers, and that's what they did. I think they made 3 trips. They went down to my buddy's Ryan's place, grabbed them, brought them up, went back. They stopped here for lunch, and Jason loved my sandwiches.
I love your sandwiches too. I had a good one.
And another cool thing was, on his way home, I said, "Oh, I've got one going your way. Can you drop it off?" And he did. And I mean, like I said, nobody could have orchestrated it the way it worked out, but God.
But God.
You cannot convince me any other way, but God.
Yeah, that's all you can say, because we could sit here and talk for hours and tell hundreds, you guys could tell hundreds and hundreds of stories about this, but it blew our mind in the short period of time how you were getting these out. And you said, well, it made you look good. It did make you look good, because I was telling guys like
not that I need it.
Your girls are the ones that look good, not you, buddy. I'm not sure. All mom. Nothing you did on that, so you know. Doggone it. So it was, from the outside looking in, it was quite obvious that God was taking hold of this and doing it the way He wanted it done.
Yep.
To get these to this. And every person that Jennifer and I have been able to visit the last few weeks, even if whether it be directly or indirectly, everybody said that it was phenomenal at the timing of how these were brought in and what it was used for, what it was needed for, a variety of things. Some it was just a sleep in, many of them were to sleep in, which was the main purpose, but other ones even did things, put animals in there to keep them warm. I mean, it was a bad situation. They just didn't have the ability like we all have in our normal everyday lives, and they needed these cabins to do that. So, and again, that's just one of thousands of people that came around you guys, and people that are still working.
Still doing it.
We've seen a gentleman just a couple days ago. Again, talk about but God. We're going to introduce you to some people that we met through this process, and they found out about CTO and found out what we were doing, and they since then have formed a nonprofit, and they have did demolition on over 60 homes, and then they're working Samaritan Purse and other ones have come along and partnered with them to put houses and campers and stuff to provide things for these people, and they're still doing it. We went literally to ground zero, and they were demolishing a house, and just combing through it, because this guy collected antiques, and they were trying to find his antiques, and this gentleman, we were able to pray with him, and you can just tell he was traumatized majorly traumatized, in tears, just watching even them clear. And this is 10 months later. We're almost a year later. It's not over. Our brothers and sisters in Texas, what they're going through right now. I mean, it's like almost starting over with how it was here. And they'll be unfortunately dealing with that for years to come, and so will people here. It seems like it's not something that's going to be healed. So if anybody is listening, there is still a need here of teams to come and to help and to do a variety of things. And if you want to still get involved, want to get help with some different things, only thing I can tell you to do for me is contact CTO. Call our 1-866-KID-HUNT number, or just go to teamcto.org. Email us. We'll connect you with DJ probably, and he'll connect you with somebody if he can't work with that, and we'll make something happen for them. So,
we get asked that a lot. Like, what do you need? What do you need? The need changes every day, and it's different for everybody. It's different in different locations. If you feel led, I'll say, if you feel led to come here and help, let me know what your skills are, what you want to do, how many people you have. Like I said before, Robbie's still involved, and I can find something for somebody. Or if it's monetary, I mean, so many people help donate. We were building some decks for people, and so I mean, yes, we can use it. That's all I can really say.
Exactly. I hear that.
I do want to say something about these cabins. So at first it was like, okay, it's a hunting cabin. Like, what are you really going to be sending hunting cabins for? I remember getting the first one and walking inside of it and shutting the door. And I know we're in the mall, we got music going on, but you couldn't hear anything.
Yeah,
the wind I mean, and it was breezy that day. I was like, I don't even like it, these things are airtight. They're almost too airtight. What I was talking about with moisture, sweating in the morning. You have to get a little bit of ventilation in them, but these things are solid. They're a great cabin. I mean,
they put out a good product.
It's a great product, and that's a cheap plug for Danny. I wasn't told to say that, but I was super impressed. Yeah. And people are. At first, when I tell them, when I tell people, oh, I have a hunting cabin, blah, 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 they're like, oh, okay. But then when they see them, they're like, wow, I can live in this thing. Like, yeah, that's the whole point. Like, you're not going to, have, company over, but you can sleep safely. Warm, dry, and safe.
No, you're absolutely right. That it is a good product. Their blinds are good products, and these cabins are good products.
Yep.
And they'll be up for years to come.
Yep.
I mean, they're not going to go anywhere.
Nope.
And I think what we saw, I think some of them that will be here that maybe now during this time of season, some are using it for storage or something like that. But then I'm sure come winter, if there's anything that happens, they lose electricity, a big storm comes in, they're going to be using these just like that again. So the need is not going away. Right. So the need is still there for many of these people to continue to utilize them. So I think that is a good point, because I remember you said that to me specifically, like, man, I got in these things, I'm like, whoa, these are not normal blinds.
Yeah.
No, not to diss anybody else, because there's some other really good blinds out there, but they are like that, especially these cabins.
Yeah, I mean, they're like a sprayed foam inside, and you could have one person in there with the smallest buddy heater, and it'll sweat you out.
It will. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We use the blinds a lot, especially in Missouri and some other places, and if you put a buddy heater, you run it for 15 minutes and you're turning it off.
Yep. Absolutely.
It's they're that good. So, all right. Well, these lovely girls over here haven't said anything. So, do you have a story you want to share at all, or something that kind of, or you're like going, no, just move on?
I mean, I don't really have any other stories about the blinds. There's something I can say about like the whole thing that happened.
Tell about the whole thing, how it changed you maybe, or what's your experience?
I mean, for me, it was a very weird change when it first hit. I'm like, I don't see anybody on the roads. Trees are down. There's no communication with anybody. It was like, it felt like a disconnect from the world.
Okay.
And it was kind of like heartbreaking seeing everybody like just living the way they were, but it really helped me specifically and my family like lean on God more, and it going to our church and helping out, handing out the smallest things as water, dog food, Band-Aids, like just things that they needed at the time. It just like, it really encouraged me seeing how God can move in like the worst times that we could imagine going through. He moved in such big ways. And so that for me was just like a wow moment.
Thanks for bringing it back around to that, because ultimately that is what this is all about. God did just utilize that, so that's awesome. Thank you. Appreciate that.
And I'll add on to that too, because I mean, for me it was hard because I didn't have my other rock. God's number one, but he's right there too. And we were just really close, trying to, like, we got to take care of stuff. But I mean, we were up at the crack of dawn. I'm like, where are we going now? It was really cool. But even we had a blessing with the deli when all the refrigerated food was ruined, but we had a freezer full of food. We delivered that to places that need it. Wow. We found places that the only way to reach them, because the roads were where there was trees and power lines in the way, we had to go all the way around, which it was probably like an extra 30 minutes to drive around. I mean, I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but for us, which normally takes us 10 minutes, took us a lot longer to get around. And like, people were crying to receive water because they were saying there's a whole community here coming to us for food, and we've run out. But we were able to give them. I think we had waters. We took waters that were donated to us, but we had breads, we had muffins. We had a lot of things that were frozen that we were just able to distribute.
And it was an immediate need that needed.
It was
right then.
They were just desperately so thankful for that, and we're thinking like, oh, that wasn't big. Like, well, we had to get rid of it because we obviously couldn't eat it, but we wanted to give it to people, and it was just kind of a cool experience. I'm like, this was like, I mean,
it's a business expense too, but it's like that was kind of a tragedy for us, but it was such a blessing for other people, and it was cool to be part of that. And,
Absolutely.
And
that's just
able to help
it's not, I almost said it's a small example, but it's not a small, but it is an example of how God used you all, and there's thousands of other people, other families that did very similar things. And I just appreciate your all's heart. Just not everybody would have thought of that, because you get in that mode. Oh gosh, how are we going to survive? How's the deli going to survive? How's the business going to survive? And it seemed like this, what our experience. I definitely see that from you guys. People didn't think that way. It's just like, well, what do we got to do? I think it's almost like going back into the original church in Acts. Just everybody just throws all of their resources. Everybody comes together, and everybody's here for each other. And I think that just tells you truly the heart of people. I think sometimes people are always saying, man, this world is falling apart and this and that and everything. But man, when it really comes down to it, God's got people out there that he's doing great work with and through and utilizing. And you guys and your family and what you do in CTO and what you guys do in your communities and your church and your businesses, and even in what they do in their sports and their dance, God uses you guys in powerful ways. And I love hearing those stories. I think it's awesome. You got another story? Okay.
So like adding on her, like with God, with the blinds and everything too, like just going out and like being able, like, yes, we got to give them like food, but also like we got to pray over them. And like that was such a big thing. Like, yes, something happened, but that was a way for us to share the gospel with people we didn't even know. Like just praying over them was such a big thing. And like it was such a horrible thing, but like seeing God move in like so like amazing ways. Like with my dad, like we didn't even know what was going to happen, but God showed up. He's like, I'm there, like I got you. And like it was such a big time to lean on him. And like even with our church, like we had 18-wheelers full of stuff, and God just like showed up, and it was just such an amazing thing. Out of such a horrible thing, God was like, I'm there. And like he uses people, and like we just got to pray over people with the blinds, like going into the woods, meeting people like they had nothing, and we're like, we have something that can give you everything you need. And like God, like just being able to pray over them with like just such an experience. And like I will always share that, like prayer is so powerful. Like you have no idea.
You think it strengthened your all's faith?
Oh, 100%. Because sometimes like when you're going through things, you're like, does God even hear? And that was a big thing. Like God shows up, he hears, and he'll do it. If you trust in him, he'll do it. That strengthened my faith 100%.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's part of my
awesome.
testimony.
That's an example of how it's one of many how God can work all things out for his glory, for those who are there to glorify him. That's Kirk's paraphrase of that scripture, but he does use that and works that out. So. Oh, the girl that said it didn't want to talk and didn't want the microphone has a third time she has something she wants to say. I love it.
Well,
And the one that said it, she wanted to talk, is not wanting to talk now.
well, no, just even strengthening your faith. For me, I felt like I had to protect my daughters because he wasn't here. he was on a cruise.
He took off.
But you know, it's hard sometimes when you have to adult alone. So I would feel that, you know, thinking about all these single moms out there, and it made me feel for them. But then, one thing that was a big struggle for me was survivor's guilt. Like, I struggled with it every night because I was like, we've got our house, we've got our family. Are their families safe on a cruise? But I mean, I was so thankful for everything. But then I had that survivor's guilt, and it was like God he worked me through it. Like, you're gonna be okay. I'm gonna help you. I'm helping you with your family. He's like, you just stay with me, and we've got you. We'll figure this out together. But it was hard. It was horrific seeing other people's losses. Even if it was
all around you,
and it's and I'm not even talking. I mean, obviously the human loss was awful to go through, but people losing a car, losing their home, and it just things that mean a lot to people were just gone in a blink of an eye. It just came so fast. So, but I was like, wow, that survivor's guilt is real, and I struggled with it. But
that's a good point. That's a good point, because I would think a lot of people were probably struggling with that.
Yeah, but I know God helped me through it, And I think even for me to see the strength in my girls helped me as well. Like I was like, I was pretty strong in my faith, but it's like we all just being there together, we had to lean on each other.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay.
Good. You got something you want to say now?
I'm done.
I don't know.
Okay, well, let me ask you. Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Okay, during that time frame, I mean that is, I mean, you're younger. You're 11, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you would have been 10 at that time. Of course, right when the music gets loud, right when you start talking. So you got to make sure you talk loud so we can hear you. That's perfect for you, right? Are you going to break out in a dance? Okay.
Give her a second.
You're basically 10 years old and you're seeing all of this. Was that scary for you, or was that how was that for you?
Well, I didn't know what was going on, but once I got home, I saw my mom crying, I saw Brianna crying,
Oh, okay.
and then I started to realize it's hurting people.
Okay. And that's hard to take in,
Yeah.
isn't it? But I'm gonna guess they were all talking about jumping right in at the church. You were there with them, doing all that too.
For a couple days we were, yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. Did you like doing that?
Yeah.
Was that hard?
No, I was just happy how much stuff was there to give away.
Okay, yeah. That's awesome to watch that much stuff come in, and in some cases it wasn't even asked for. Right. People just saw, I bet they're going to need this, or I bet they're going to need that. Because at one time we were talking about, for the redneck blind, or redneck cabins, we were talking about the heaters, and you're like, Kirk, there's heaters everywhere here. We'll get heaters. They will just show up. And from the outside looking in, it's hard to grasp, but that's a but God moment, and utilizing each one of you. And even though we may say it's small, you may say, okay, I'm 10 years old at the time. It's what does my work mean to be sitting here handing out water or something like that at the church? That's a big deal. Not very many 10-year-olds will want to go do that, so I'm proud of you for doing that. I think you're a sweet girl. That's a good thing. It's like, now take it off of me now.
For the record, I was only on the cruise for 3 days.
Oh,
It
he's
was
gotta set
planned
the record.
well
Gotta
before
set
the
record
hurricane.
straight. Yeah.
And with a hurt back, my wife said, stay in Florida.
Okay. I was going to say, he had no survivor guilt. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, now we opened it up.
Uh-oh.
So, speaking of when my dad said he could name 100 names and names and names, there was a guy that works here. He helped us, and it was snowing, and guys from the work were helping. Everyone was just helping.
That's cool. So even right here at work, they were helping.
Yeah. And
That's
also, prop dads from our dance, they were helping everywhere. They wouldn't care if it's 2 hours away, 30 minutes, they went.
Wow. That's cool. So what you're saying, even dance people will work?
Yeah.
Okay.
We actually had a dance family that just 2 weeks ago got back into their house.
Wow.
They had 6+ foot of water. And that's what it's easy to say 6 feet of water, 10 feet of water, but 6 feet of water in your house. I mean, and actually I think they had more.
Over our heads.
Yes.
I mean, that's the
Of-
average guy.
I think they had it up to their eaves in their one-story house. So, I mean, that much water inside the house, and they just got back in. One of our dance families that the dance community went and were just ripping out stuff, drywall and all that. So, people are still getting back into it, but that still boggles my mind of, I go into restaurants, some of our local restaurants, and they show me the water line, and it's this high above my head.
In a restaurant.
In a restaurant.
That now is functioning.
That's
and-
now back up.
Wow. That's just hard to comprehend.
Yeah.
Unless you're here.
And even built more forest, built more area. They talk about 30 feet above the normal level of water. 30 feet of just.
Yeah. That's just somewhere. And water and yuck.
Oh yeah.
Dirt,
Yeah.
rubble,
Cars.
cars.
Just houses. Yeah. Trailers, campers. Just
Yeah.
30 feet above what you normally see at your river
Yeah.
going by. And I was sharing with Jennifer our rivers now are 100 yards wide, couple inches deep, where it was 20 yards wide, 5 foot deep. It's all just
We've-
gone.
Ever since you've said that, we have now noticed that. We're like, I bet that river wasn't that wide, because that's a wide river, and they're shallow.
Yep.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
How it just completely changed. Well, that's a whole other sermon. We can get into the flood sermon and how that changed everything. But
Yeah, Lake Lure.
oh yeah,
Actually, Kelly and I got married there. It's a man-made lake, which pretty much every lake in North Carolina is, but it's full of dirt. Like, the lake is full of dirt. They're digging it out. They've got backhoes and dump trailers just running loads of dirt out of this lake so it can be filled with water again.
that you showed us pictures, and that doesn't even compute what you're seeing. You're saying that would be 20, 30 foot of lake water, and it's dirt.
Yeah.
Now, the lake didn't go anywhere. The dirt came in.
Yep.
It took its place.
Yep.
I mean, that's hard to even comprehend. Wow. Well, guys, these are amazing stories, and Jennifer and I have had such an amazing time the last few days, but heartbreaking time too, because I mean, we're seeing the damage and seeing what's here, and it's still here 10 months later. However, it's the small role we're trying to play is just following up with these people. Bree brought it on, saying about praying over people and just seeing them, praying with them, letting them know that God loves them. There's still people here that are here for them, that they love them. And I know you guys as a family and your community and your church haven't given up on you. So if anybody is listening here and you're thinking, my gosh, I'm by myself, reach out to someone in your community. Go to a local church. If you have to, again, look us up at Cross Trail Outfitters. Go to our Team CTO website or call us at the 866 Kid Hunt number. Normally, again, we're coming to you from a whole different, we're in a mall, and you're hearing some music in the background. I apologize, and there's people around us. But we were just sitting there having lunch, and I'm like, we were talking about doing the podcast. I'm just like, we were having great conversation. I said, let's just do it now. Just do it right here. So we appreciate you bearing with us with the noise and the stuff around us. But these stories are inspirational, and people want to hear that, but there still is a need here. And I know Samaritan Purse is still here.
Absolutely.
No, they've still got a hub. We drove by, and if we'd had time, I actually kind of wanted to go in and meet them and thank them for what they've done. But there's so many amazing organizations and foundations that have been formed out of this as well that are still hard at work.
Yes.
So, guys, thanks for sharing. Y'all did good. See, y'all worried, not all of you, some of you are like, I'll do it. I'll do it.
I'll say thank you. I mean, you're trying to cut this out, but thank you for connecting us with Redneck Blinds.
No,
I mean, just to be able to provide that from our community is huge.
Well, that's all Redneck Blinds and Danny Little and his team and his employees and what they did. That is Danny's heart and his wife's heart and their family. They are always looking for opportunities, and it's not about gain for them.
Yeah.
It's about giving back and growing the kingdom of God and to give back to those who are in need. And Redneck Blinds are phenomenal with Cross Trail Outfitters, and as you're already seeing, it's not about them. They're always about giving back to so many people around in the country, quite frankly. So. No, I appreciate that. That's a good segue to kind of get us out with everything, because guys, it's been fun. It's been exciting to get to know you guys. Now you'll have to come to Missouri. Okay. You know, a couple kind of cool, well, because Jen's cool, right? I'm probably not that cool. But some cool people, you're welcome to come to Missouri. I'm excited to see what God's going to do and get things more rolling here with Cross Trail Outfitters in your area. All the amazing things that God is doing, using you guys as a family. So. But again, please check us out, guys. If you're listening to this, say, how can I help? Again, go to teamcto.org or go to 866-KID-HUNT. But until next time, we'll see you around the campfire. Thank you for listening to Wild Pursuits with Cross Trail Outfitters. CTO is a hunting and fishing club with the mission of guiding the next generation to Christ through the outdoors. If you'd like to support us or are interested in getting involved, visit us on our website at teamcto.org. Links are in the description. Make sure to like and share our podcast. And join us next time around the campfire with Wild Pursuits.